I've taken jumps in my academic career, and I've taken jumps in just socializing and getting out and getting to do things I've never done before.
The thing that brought me to Brevard is the experiential learning. I've always been a hands-on guy.
I love it here at Brevard. Over Christmas break, I was itching to come back because I love the area so much.
Experiential learning here is beyond all of my expectations.
Brevard College, a top choice for students around the world.
Probably one of the prettiest places on the earth. And to come to somewhere where it's such a tight-knit community, where everybody has your back, I mean, you're not going to find that anywhere else at bigger schools.
I like to go hang out at the coffee shop, sit outside at the picnic tables, maybe do a little bit of homework there, and just socialize because there's always somebody that I know there.
Brevard does make it easy to come here. The admission process is very simple.
Brevard College, a top choice for students around the world.
welcome everybody to today's press conference for the cycling team heading to nationals. This upcoming week, we have head coach Brad Purley, student athletes Matthew Lelleveld, Max Canterbury, Lily Rose Maroy, and Maddie Pollock. Guys, thanks for joining me today. Brad, I want to start with you. What's this preparation look like ahead of this event?
That's on. All right. Thanks, Ryan. It's we finished up our conference racing season last weekend at Lees McRae College. So we had, since the start of school, pretty much, we had a pretty all-in season in terms of there wasn't a lot of downtime, which is a good thing most of the time. But so we've been racing around the Southeast and, of course, training here at home in Brevard. Pretty much all in preparation for this coming week. Hopefully we can line up some good performances with good health and then a little bit of good luck, hopefully, too.
All right, we'll go left to right here for Matthew. You finished 5th in the Omnium last year, which meant top all-around rider. At the Nationals race, how do you feel that being well-rounded in an event like this can help you out with competition?
It's definitely beneficial in a lot of ways, just because being well-rounded means that you have the fitness of like an XC racer, so you have the cardiovascular like capabilities of a fit athlete while also having the technical abilities of like a downhill racer kind of thing. So I don't know, it definitely helps to be kind of have strengths in both areas because it kind of it helps in just in general, I guess. I don't know.
So Max, for you, it's your Nationals debut. What kind of emotions are going through your head ahead of this event?
I'm definitely looking forward to what the track's going to be like, because I've never gone out west to race before, so very interested in traveling outside of the Southeast to race.
All right, Maddie, for you, also in the Omnium last year, you finished 6th. But what does experience at the Nationals race help you coming in to a race like this in Mesa, Colorado?
I think that a lot of people on our team have done lots of racing outside of the collegiate level, and it helps us be kind of more well-rounded, like Matthew was saying. And I mean, the collegiate cycling also helps our cycling outside of college. So everything kind of feeds each other and helps us to be better, fitter athletes and better teammates.
So Lily Rose, lastly for you, you're a freshman, but you compete in the 2025 UCI Mountain Bike World Championships this season. How does that experience help you as a freshman to come into this more prepared?
I try to help me a lot. I mean, I did like a couple college races here, and just being into the international level, I think is just helpful. It's a different crowd, obviously, but I'm just excited to race college races too, and I know college and nats is super important for all of us, and I'm excited to race this year.
So we'll keep it with you and pass it back down this way. Different terrain, different courses this season. You also have the beautiful area of Brevard to prepare you for a race like this. What does this area and the races that you've experienced this year kind of help you moving forward?
Well, being able to travel like all around the world and just like experience new areas and new trails just helped me a lot. And being in Europe and even here, the trails are like basically the same. And being in Brevard, like all of the trails are super nice, super flowy, and I'm excited to see what Colorado is gonna be like.
We'll keep that same question down the road here. Just speak on your experiences with the courses this year and how Brevard has helped prepare you.
Yeah, I think Brevard's a really unique spot. We have really good road training. We have really great mountain bike trails. We've got Pisgah National Forest, DuPont State Forest, Bracken Mountain Preserve, as well as a couple bike parks in the area. So we've had lots of time to work on our fitness and our skills. I will say that Colorado is going to be really high elevation, so that'll be kind of something that we haven't been able to prepare for as much. That being said, everybody's going to be in the same boat having to deal with that elevation. I believe is it 9,000 feet, Brad? Yeah. We're going to be racing at upwards of 9,000 feet, which I believe we're at about 2,000 feet here. So that'll be different, but I think the trails make really well-rounded athletes from around here. So hopefully we'll have a good shot at doing well.
Yeah, I mean, the trails around here definitely help to like build your skills, but going out west is going to be very different from what we're used to here. Because, I mean, here we're in a rainforest environment, and then going out west, it's pretty much a desert. It's going to be super dry. So the race out in Kentucky that we did 2-3 weeks ago now, it's very good practice because that race was just powder. It was super dry, so hopefully it translates over.
Yeah, the combination of the elevation and the fact that Brevard itself is a pretty temperate and wet environment, the riding around here is significantly different than like the powdery, dusty, dry conditions out west. So it's going to be definitely some getting used to, but all of us have ridden in the dry before, obviously, so it's going to be pretty sweet. I'm pretty stoked for it, but yeah.
All right, Brad, for you, lastly, before we open the floor, they talk about elevation a lot, your travel schedule, getting down there a couple days early. How do you believe that will help your team get adjusted to those conditions out in Colorado?
Yeah, I think speaking to the altitude, the elevation where we'll be competing, there's not a whole lot you can do in terms of to properly acclimate. You have to be out at elevation for at least a couple weeks. So since we can't do that, kind of the second best option is basically to travel right before the event, and we're racing on our day 2 of being there at the venue. So we are staying in town, which is dramatically lower elevation than where we'll be racing up in the mountains. So the hope there is to be recovering and sleeping at a much lower elevation, whereas if we're staying up at the resort on the mountain, your body's just going to have a harder time recovering from race efforts at such a high altitude. So yeah, I think Maddie was the one who mentioned it. It's kind of everybody that's traveling to Colorado is in the same boat. It's just kind of something we have to deal with the best we can and control what is within our control. Yeah.
All right, this time we'll open the floor to some questions. Caitlin will pass the mic around, and I'll kind of point at you guys and give you a signal for when to ask a question. All right, so I'll just stand first right here.
Well, my name is Stefan Miller, and I'm the sportsman in Rock Pacifier. This is kind of a question that we buried down the line. How do you think, how have you mentally prepared for this race?
I've been really excited for this race all year. Traveling to Colorado is obviously it's a privilege, I guess you could say, being able to travel with the team, and it's definitely outside of many people's comfort zones, getting out to a different track, never seeing stuff like that before, going to a different college and having other people racing their home track while you're in a different on a different side of the country. So it's a lot to get your head wrapped around, but I kind of just focus on what I do best, ride my bike. So at the end of the day, we're all just out there having fun, doing as best we can. And yeah, it's important to think of the potential win here or there, or doing as best as we could, but it's kind of just go out there and do the best you can and have fun while doing it, and that's pretty much what I focus on.
I'd also say that the collegiate races we have in the Southeast are very good preparation. We'll race 4 to 5 times on a weekend if you're an Omnium racer. So it's a lot all at once, but it's really good for your fitness. It's really good for your skills. I'd say we're all kind of just well-rounded athletes because of those conference races. And then also a lot of people on the team are training anywhere from 10 to 20 hours a week, even outside of that. So everybody's been doing their work. Even if you don't really see it, everybody's working hard behind the scenes to make sure they're physically fit and that their skills are there. So I think the team's pretty well prepared this year. I'm excited to see what we can do.
All right, up front.
Brad, my question is for you. I'm Brendan King. So going into a big event like this, do you prepare any differently than you would for just a normal event that you've had throughout the season? Or are there special things that you do to prepare for this, specifically for this event?
Yeah, it's definitely different than our what we call our conference in conference competition throughout the first part of the semester. One big difference is we use those conference races around our region as training, as preparation, ultimately for the national week of competition. So that being said, rest schedules, training schedules really revolve around that, trying to be every student athlete at their best, ready to perform for this week in particular. And oftentimes that means, using the conference racing as training, and perhaps the performances might not be at their highest level, but it's because it's training, it's preparation. So, and then outside of the training aspects, just from a logistics standpoint, it's also quite different too, whereas we are traveling such a long ways away with our team trailer and all of our equipment with us. We kind of have to be as self-sustaining as possible. So things as far as spare parts, because things inevitably will go wrong, things will break, we will have flat tires, broken chains, you name it. All that stuff is going to happen. So part of my preparation is trying to make sure we have that equipment with us, those spares, and then the people with the know-how to help prepare the bikes and all equipment. There's a lot of equipment that goes into one of these events as well. So it is quite different for sure. And like these riders, the student athletes have said next to me too, it is just a very different mentality when you're getting ready to travel such a far distance to go race. So,
All right.
I'm Jaden. My question is for Max, two-parter here. First question is, if this is your first nationals, how has your summer and kind of your fall season preparation prepared you for this? And then to add on with that, I'm kind of noticing the mullet style here. Rumor is that you're the ones that cut the haircuts for most of your teammates, so I just want some confirmation on that.
Oh yeah, the mullets were all me. That was actually, 2 nights ago now? Yeah. Yeah, I cut probably 5 or 6 mullets. You can see them back there too. Yeah, training over the summer, it's just a lot of work. For me, being a gravity rider, I spend a lot of time in the gym and focusing on skills work. So, that's a big part of it. And then just racing over, outside of the collegiate season is a big help too. I think the best way to get faster in a race is to race.
And the white back there.
Hi, I'm Carlo. This question is for Maddie. So last year you placed 6th overall in women's Omnium. What do you think it will take to break into the top 3?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm actually curious, maybe Brad can comment. The Omnium rules change a little bit year to year. So last year you had to start 3 races, but even if you just finished 2, sometimes you could get a lot of points from those 2. So last year we thought I was going to be in the top 5, and I got bumped out by a rider who'd crashed in their 3rd race, and it was kind of an odd technicality. But I think for me, the biggest thing will be trying to do well in dual slalom. I'm usually solid kind of all around in XC, short track, and downhill. But dual slalom is one that I kind of get in my head about. It's a head-to-head racing format, so it's really easy to kind of be thinking more about your opponent, and the tracks also vary quite a bit, lots of berms, little jumps, and stuff like that. So I think, to answer your question, I need to really lock in for dual slalom. That'll be kind of the game plan this year, and then also just making sure that I'm recovering well to keep doing well in the gravity and endurance events.
My name is Khalil, and my question is for Brad. How would you say the recruiting process is throughout the year, trying to get new cyclists?
It never really stops, honestly. I would say that the couple weeks span we're in currently is kind of the slowest of the whole year, just because we're so busy prepping for the end of mountain bike season. Just like pretty much any one of the other coaches, I'm sure, on campus would tell you, it's just a game of, you want student athletes to come through, have a great experience, but ultimately the goal is always to graduate. However, that makes it pretty difficult because then they're gone. So you only have that 4-year window with every student athlete, and you're trying to build a full, deep roster that's pretty well-rounded. But the problem is they keep graduating, which is a good thing, right? But no, yeah. So it's definitely a year-round process for sure, and it's something that generally I really enjoy because it's building relationships with people and with families ultimately too. So yeah, it never stops. We're always looking for. I lean on the students and the team honestly too quite a bit for their help with that because many of them know potential recruits that I may not, or even if I do know them, they're probably going to listen to our students a lot more than they'll pay attention to me, at least early on. So, yeah, so I lean on them to help quite a bit too.
Stephon again, but this is a question for you, Brad. How would you describe the team's confidence and mindset right now?
I think we have a really good balance within our program with our students of supporting one another very well. And I think we have a lot of confidence right now coming off of the collegiate conference season, and as well as racing. A lot of our students, as has been mentioned, have been racing quite a bit outside of the collegiate races this fall too. So they build confidence within the team. So they're there to support one another. I'm obviously there to support them as well. I think that team mentality and that strength in numbers really helps quite a bit to carry confidence because ultimately every single student athlete that is traveling out to nationals at least one point, probably more during that nationals week, is going to have some low points, going to have some points of self-doubt. It's bike racing, it's just life in general, I think, too, but it's very nice during those times where you have teammates and coaches, volunteer coaches that are all going to be there to support, to help them rise back up and get that confidence, hopefully back up to a high level. So I certainly have a lot of confidence in the team we're bringing for sure, and a lot of excitement too. So yeah, the fact that the team is so tightly knit and so supportive of one another really makes it a pretty unique situation where they can carry confidence.
So this question goes to Matthew Leveland. We know from the last race that you won downhill. I was just wondering, like, is there any sort of diet that can lead you to winning these races?
I want to give a shout out to CAF. They've been feeding me all year. It's been a pretty solid. It's better than previous years, I think. CAF's gotten better. So that's pretty much what I eat. It's just like whatever's out in CAF. But to be honest, I'm really excited about this the downhill for Nats. I've been preparing for it since last year, kind of thing. When I won the national championship last year, it was kind of on like a pedally track, and a lot of people didn't consider it like a downhill track. And a lot of the guys that I was racing against were kind of like, oh, he just won because it was like a pedally, like fitness-based track almost. And I've been wanting to prove them wrong all year, so that's the goal. And going through this season, getting 3 wins and a second place through the conference series, I'm pretty stoked to put the work I've been putting in to good use, and gonna be stoked.
So yeah, my name is Mohamed. My question for you was, do you have some special like pre-race rituals, like to get prepared for before races?
For the last race, I took a quick nap, and it worked, but nothing specifically, honestly, for me anyways. I kind of just like, I typically memorize the track, obviously, for downhill. You do your practice runs, and you memorize every route and rock and anything that might catch you out. And then I go through that in my head, top to bottom a couple times, and then try to just chill out as much as possible and fight the nerves kind of thing for until you drop in, and then yeah, see how it goes. I don't know. Anyone else?
When you want to do an endurance race warm up maybe? Or just pre-race, just explain how it is.
So on the endurance side of things, you'll often have to do like a 30 to 45 minute warm up before the race. So that looks like maybe 15 minutes of like easy kind of endurance spinning. A couple of, like my warm up consists of 3 like 2-minute efforts, a couple of sprints, maybe a dynamic warm up if you're into that. So that's something that kind of most of the endurance side of things, everybody's going to be out, putting in some hard work even before the race starts. As far as kind of like other rituals go, one of my favorite pre-race meals is like a sweet potato, which I usually get bullied for, but it works. It's high carb and sugar and pretty yummy. So.
Well, that's basically all of the like endurance router does before the race. So basically, we eat our pre-race meal. We call it 3 hours before. Personally, I eat rice and eggs, carb and an hour before, like bit of carbs, and then we up on the road or on the trailer on the trainers, and 45 minutes warm up, and then it starts. Yeah.
Jamarion Jones, this is a question for Coach Brad. Do you feel like you have a chip on your shoulder going to such a big event like this one?
It never fails to have people kind of write off the Brevard team for some reason, and I like that. I think it's one of the times perhaps that my students might say that they see me get like the most competitive outwardly, at least. Where I do a worse job of hiding it, perhaps. But I mean, no, I think that most of the pressure is placed upon ourselves. We do that on our own. My expectation of all of our students that we're taking to nationals is, I don't have any results-based expectations, because you can't do that. If too many things are going to go wrong, hopefully the chips fall in our favor, sort of, we have good luck. But my expectation is absolutely that every student is going to race every single one of their events with full focus and full effort. And luckily, again, with this group, I have no doubt that's going to be the case. They're there primarily to race their hardest, yes, for an individual result, but the bigger goal, everybody knows, is we're trying to place well overall as a team in the team omnium. That's always priority number 1 for us. So in order to do that, it takes a lot, and I realize it also means that we are asking a lot of our students in that too. It's hard, but I think most of the pressure comes from inward. Honestly, for us is a couple of people mentioned it. Matt mentioned it a minute ago, but certainly have things to prove for sure in a good way.
This is a question for Matthew and the rest of the athletes. What does the night before winning a national championship look like? And for those who haven't, what does the night before the race look like?
I like to obviously get to bed relatively early and make sure I get a good night's sleep. Obviously, I typically have some trouble sleeping the night before a race just because nerves and stuff. But yeah, typically early bedtime, good meal with the team kind of thing. We typically have a really good setup for like meals and stuff before races. We typically stay in like some kind of Airbnb or something, and we cook our own meals kind of thing. We get divided into groups and we all cook each other meals kind of thing throughout the week. So good nutrition, good sleep, or as best you can. And then, yeah, good to go.
Hi, Carlo again. So this is a question for Lily Rose. How has been the transition from international competitions to collegiate racing?
Well, obviously on the international races, it's like a bigger crowd, and like I race against the best of the world. But here, like the competition is basically the same. We have like 4 riders that like who are in a World Cup right now. So, I mean, it's basically the same thing. Trails are maybe a little bit like easier here, but it's the same flow, it's the same like kind of fun, and yeah, it's just all fun, and yeah, just excited to race here.
All right, we'll go here in the black, and then we'll go back there.
Hey, Caden Clark right here. I have a question for really any of you guys. Going from a Brevard into elevation, what's the difference between racing in a place like Colorado?
Yeah, I think we touched on it a bit earlier, but I think recovery is probably the biggest thing. When you're at altitude, it's a lot harder to recover. So you're going to need to be probably sleeping more, eating more, just being kind of more cautious with your energy throughout the day. Like, you know, on team trips, people always want to go like see things and do things, but maybe it's better to stay back and have a nap and put your feet up. So yeah, like when we're racing at home, we're not having to think about the fact that our bodies are fatiguing really, really fast, and kind of compensate for it.
And for the gravity aspect of it all, I find that when I'm racing at elevation, it's kind of like you get like a little bit of a brain fog kind of thing because you're starved of oxygen kind of thing. So you're not really taking in enough oxygen, and therefore you feel off kind of. And it's definitely something to get used to, which is, it's nice this year that we're racing the gravity stuff in the later days. We have a good few days to get used to that elevation, and we should be able to do just as well as back home.
All right, back there.
Hi. So I'm curious, is there anyone in your personal life or particularly peers that help inspire you? I know last week we had a student on the team, Matt Mitchko, be featured in a podcast. And I'm just curious. I've heard that he's pretty motivational and driven person.
Yeah, Mitchko's been through a lot in the last few years. He's had two entire shoulder surgeries and has been out of racing for multiple seasons. And I don't know how I would have gotten through that, not being able to ride, which is like my outlet for anything going on in my life. If I'm feeling stressed out, I go for a ride and it fixes it. Not being able to do that would have put like a massive toll on myself, and he has bounced back like tremendously. So he's put in the work. He's probably the most dedicated gravity rider that I know personally. So I'm stoked to be lining up alongside him this year now that he's back on the bike. And this race season, he got straight off of his rehab stuff, back on the bike, and was fighting for wins immediately. So you can't ever count him out. But anyone else have heroes in the team?
I guess kind of like someone that brought me here to the school is Matthew Smith. He's one of my riding buddies from back at home. And he's 2 years older than me and found Brevard through just like taking trips out here. And he's always just wanting to push me, and it's kind of cool to see, like, to watch myself progress and eventually get faster than him. So it's just kind of cool.
I wouldn't say that I have like one person specifically, but I think the cycling team is really unique that we are like a very tight-knit community, despite being like, I think we're 35 almost this year. So I think just the team as a whole has been like so supportive, so uplifting. We had a lot of injuries on the team this year, which was unfortunate. We have a couple students who should have come with us to nationals that unfortunately won't be able to race just because they're dealing with injuries. I just want to thank the team and community for, uplifting each other and checking in on everybody. And, at the end of the day, it's not about beating your teammates, it's about beating the other teams. So I think we do that well.
More questions from the crowd here. Over here.
Hi, my name's Cortland Austin. This is a question for Miss Marios. My question is, as your first time on this collegiate team, what are you most anticipating going into finals?
Into races materials, I think, like Maddie said, like it's like different as in Canada and like in my UCI team, so like my professional team. It's like just beating other university and college is, I think, is the most important thing here. Like just working as a team, and I think that's a thing that like I really like it here. It's like more fun than like just stress and just getting to win everything. And yeah, I think that's it.
This time, we'd like to give a round of applause to Coach Purley and the rest of the cycling athletes as they prepare to head to nationals. And also, if the rest of the cycling athletes in attendance could come to the front and get behind all the athletes and Coach Purley here, we'd like to get a quick picture. Thank you to everybody that came in to ask questions. We do greatly appreciate it. And looking forward to the cycling team at nationals on October 9th through 12th.